The biggest lie in modern health is that hydration simply means drinking more water. Every day, millions of people force themselves to drink a gallon of purified water, believing they are doing exactly what their body needs to stay healthy, energetic, and clear-headed. But biologically speaking, you can drink 3 liters of water a day and still be dying of thirst on a cellular level. Today, we are going to look under the microscope to explain the fascinating biological mechanics of cellular osmosis. We will uncover why the modern demonization of salt is actually destroying your energy levels, and exactly why naked water is keeping your most vital organs completely dehydrated. To understand why drinking water isn't enough, we have to change how we view the human body. We are taught to think of our bodies like an empty bucket. If it gets low, you just pour more water into it. But your body is not a bucket. It is a highly complex bioelectric battery. And for a battery to hold a charge, it requires electricity. In the human body, that electricity is generated by specific minerals called electrolytes, primarily sodium, potassium, and magnesium. If you are the type of person who carries a large water bottle everywhere you go, if you find yourself running to the bathroom a dozen times a day, but you still wake up with a dry mouth, dry skin, and a heavy morning brain fog, do me a favor. Hit the like button and type thirsty in the comments below. You are not alone and you are not crazy. Your body is screaming for hydration, but the water you are drinking is completely failing to enter your cells. This brings us to the microscopic surface of your cells. The membrane surrounding every single cell in your body is incredibly selective. Think of it like a strict biological bouncer at a nightclub. It does not just let anything inside. Water cannot just passively flow into a cell simply because you swallowed it and it reached your stomach. Water is physically blind. It does not know where to go. It has to be pulled. And the biological magnet that pulls water inside the cell is salt. Specifically, your cells rely on a miraculous biological engine called the sodium-potassium pump. This microscopic pump sits on the surface of your cell membranes, constantly firing, using your body's energy to push sodium out and pull potassium in. This creates the exact electrical voltage needed to pull water through the membrane. It creates biological pressure. When this mineral voltage is strong, water is magnetically pulled right past the barrier and into the center of the cell, where it is used to produce energy, repair DNA, and keep you alive. But what happens when you remove the salt? For decades, the medical establishment and fitness industries have relentlessly demonized salt, blaming it entirely for high blood pressure and heart disease. As a result, millions of health-conscious people have actively stripped sodium from their diets. At the exact same time, we began drinking highly filtered, reverse osmosis, or purified bottled water. This modern water is entirely dead. It has been stripped of all its natural, earth-born trace minerals. And here is the terrifying part that almost no one tells you. The more of this pure, dead water you drink, the more severely dehydrated you actually become. When you drink massive amounts of this dead water while restricting your salt intake, a biological disaster occurs. The water enters your bloodstream, but because you lack the necessary sodium and trace minerals, there is no electrical voltage. The sodium-potassium pump stalls. The water reaches the outside of your cells, but the biological bouncer refuses to let it in. So, it simply pools in the space directly outside your cells. This is exactly why you feel puffy, heavy, and bloated, even when you are eating clean. Your body is holding on to water in all the wrong places, while the inside of your cells are literally drying up like raisins. Because the water is trapped outside the cells, your kidneys panic. They recognize that there is too much diluted fluid in your bloodstream, so they immediately trigger the urge to urinate. You flush the water out, and tragically, that escaping water washes away even more of your precious remaining electrolytes. You become trapped in a vicious cycle of drinking, flushing, and chronic cellular dehydration. And this systemic dehydration has a devastating impact on your brain. In our previous video, we explored the glymphatic system, the extraordinary biological plumbing network that power washes your brain while you sleep. We discussed how your brain cells shrink, allowing a wave of cerebrospinal fluid to rush in and sweep away the toxic metabolic exhaust that causes chronic brain fog. But that entire neurological cleaning system relies heavily on fluid pressure. If your body is chronically depleted of trace minerals and sodium, your brain cannot generate the adequate volume of fluid required to run the power wash. You can sleep for 8 full hours, but without the mineral charge to push fluid through your brain tissue, the toxic exhaust stays locked inside your skull. You wake up feeling like a zombie, immediately reaching for caffeine to artificially stimulate a brain that is desperately begging for minerals. Even the gut-brain axis, which we discussed recently, relies on cellular hydration. Your beneficial bacteria require a heavily hydrated mucosal lining in the lower intestine to survive and produce calming neurotransmitters. When you lack electrolytes, your body pulls water away from your digestive tract to protect your vital organs, leaving your gut lining dry, irritated, and highly susceptible to the inflammatory opportunistic bacteria that hijack your cravings. To fix this, you have to stop drinking dead water and start drinking biological water. You have to put the electrical charge back into your system. This does not mean consuming artificial sports drinks packed with refined sugars and synthetic dyes. It means reintroducing natural, unrefined minerals back into your daily routine. A simple pinch of high-quality, mineral-rich Celtic sea salt or Himalayan pink salt in your morning glass of water completely changes the biological structure of that fluid. It gives the water the exact electrical conductivity it needs to be recognized by your cells, activate the pumps, and drive hydration deep into your tissues. Furthermore, one of the most powerful ways to remineralize your body is through the foods you consume. Plants naturally pull trace minerals up from the soil, binding them into highly bioavailable formats that your cells instantly recognize. However, sourcing and consuming the massive volume of diverse mineral-dense plants required to fully recharge your cellular battery every single day can be incredibly difficult. It's about giving your cells the electricity they need to thrive. This is exactly why many people utilize concentrated greens formulas to bridge the gap. By delivering a dense, diverse profile of plant extracts, naturally occurring trace minerals, and cellular antioxidants in a simple daily drink, these formulas act as a powerful tool to restore your biological charge. They provide the necessary elements to re-engage your cellular pumps, pull hydration back into your cells, and finally allow your brain's internal cleaning systems to function properly. If you are tired of drinking gallons of water only to remain exhausted, and you want to explore how a targeted greens formula can support your cellular hydration and recovery, you can check the link provided in the description below. And if you want to keep discovering the real biological mechanisms that govern your health, make sure to subscribe to Human Health Archive. Because true health isn't about simply pouring water into a bucket.